Wear thick-rimmed glasses, like these. Being a hipster isn't cool. But you know what? We're gonna let you know all the things that you do that make you uncool
That way, you can prevent this terrible disease.
of being a hipster. Okay, so the first thing that you probably do, which I accept it, even though it's a little weird for me to do it, but I actually collect one condoms. These. Because they have funny little phrases on them that goes with the picture.
And their circles.
And their circles. This one says, committed one, which if you knew me, that'd be funny. But you might be a hipster if you use one condoms.
You might be a hipster if you make your own wallets, especially with their things out of Pokemon cards or bus passes.
Or even worse, duct tape.
But only if you make it yourself. It's even worse if you buy ones from Walmart. Not cool.
Not at all.
You might be a hipster if you go to concerts for bands that no one has ever heard of, like Mercy Mercedes.
Or what was that one, Sabrina? Who cares?
It doesn't matter. No one's ever heard of them.
Haven't heard of the place.
If you go to Mr. Small's Theater, you might be a hipster. If last week you wrote love on your arm, you might be a hipster. It's even worse if you had one of your friends who draws better than you do it nicer on your right arm because you're right-handed, so it makes you even worse because you actually made an effort. If you write love on your arms in different languages, that's even worse.
Blue. That's Russian.
Of course it is. You might be a hipster if you still adamantly use VHS tapes when even DVD is going out of style.
Not only is that a VHS tape, but that's when he recorded himself. Sam, have you ever heard of a DVR? Hipsters.
You might be a hipster if you cut your own hair.
Or have other people cut your hair when you're both drunk.
Or go to places like Bo Rick's, because, you know, Philip Pelusi's just too mainstream.
You might be a hipster if you've ever used the phrase ironic or mainstream.
This flamingo that came from our yard is ironic.
Because we don't live in a trailer.
And they stole it.
From our school.
Hardcore. You might also be a hipster if you claim to be poor when you are not poor. I, however, am poor.
I'm so poor I can't afford to live in the house that I own.
I'm not that poor.
What? That didn't even make any sense.
I made so much hipster stuff.
Fucking hipster.
I'm so poor I pretend to squat in a house I own.
I'm so poor I actually am squatting here.
She just hasn't informed us until just now.
I don't have to inform you, I'm already here.
She hasn't slowly moved in like other people.
You might be a hipster if you think the socialism perspective is a good idea.
You might also be a hipster if you claim to be a socialist but don't actually know what socialism is.
Fucking commies.
You might also be a hipster if you listen to weird experimental music that make their own DVDs.
You may be a hipster if you like to get drunk and either have sex with the same sex or the opposite sex when you yourself, sober, claim to be straight or of the homosexual
Or you could
tendencies.
just be sexually confused.
Or you could just be greedy.
Like bisexuals.
Bisexuals are greedy. You might be a hipster if you're bisexual and wear flannels. I like girls.
You might be a hipster if You're deeply saddened by the fact that Four Loko is no longer available.
What's wrong with having 4 cups of coffee and 8 shots in one can?
You might be a hipster if you've ever tried to make your own Four Loko since Four Loko is banned.
Those silly 4 girls in Colorado just went so loco.
That's a terrible joke.
The 4 girls that died in Colorado. They went loco!
That wasn't funny.
You might be a hipster if you often go to websites like antijokes.com
Or hipster Hitler.
or Hipster Hitler or Lame Book or Fail Book. All parodies of Facebook. You might be a hipster if you still update your MySpace.
Or if you have more than one Tumblr account that is active.
Not good.
You might be a hipster if you refuse to go to Starbucks for your coffee. Especially since most independent coffee shops charge the same amount for it, so it's not even like it's cheaper.
He would know. He works at one.
And it's not even like it's better. I love Starbucks.
You might be hipster if you work at an independent coffee shop.
Do you want to know what I get at Starbucks? I confuse the people at Starbucks. I'm so not a hipster that I have my own drink. I get a grande caramel macchiato with 4 shots of espresso, 6 pumps of vanilla, extra caramel, 6 sweet and low, and soy milk. Fuck you, hipsters.
Make the cows suffer. Drink real milk.
I'm so
Like it.
hipster that I have my own drink that doesn't involve a drink that pre-exists. It is white chocolate mocha with 2 pumps of toffee, 2 pumps of toffee, 2 pumps of
He's such a hipster. He doesn't
cinnamon
even have a
dolce,
drink. He's making this
and
shit up right now.
1
Look at him
pump
making it up.
of caramel
know.
with
Wait,
I'm such a
soy.
hipster,
Wait,
I don't drink coffee.
You might be a hipster.
It
if
does
you
not have
have-
coffee in it because I am such a hipster that I don't drink caffeine anymore.
You might be a hipster if you have the Starbucks app, but don't actually go to Starbucks.
Or you could be retarded.
That too.
They kind of coincide sometimes.
All the time. You might be a hipster if you actually just hand the people at Starbucks your phone so that they don't get confused when you order your drink.
I can't read what that says, but
It says what I just said.
oh, it's the marking for it? Wow.
Yeah. But that's
People do
actually,
that at Chipotle.
that's the iced version, so it's upside down. Because I hate when they don't stir it. So if you get it upside down, they put the coffee in second so it mixes with the milk.
You might be a hipster if you ride a fixie, which is a fixed gear bike, especially if you live in a city with hills.
You might be a hipster if you're almost 21 years old and you still don't know how to ride a bike with 2 wheels. That would be me.
I don't think that makes you a hipster. I think that makes you a retard.
I think
I
that
thought we established those coincided.
Sorry,
I think-
forgot.
I think that makes you have a sad childhood.
Or be so privileged you
You-
didn't need a bike. As you suffered in squalor.
And squatted. Without a bike.
Without a bike. I
You
can walk.
you may be a hipster if you enjoy ambient lighting.
We have lights that are red.
Yeah, we do.
And black lights.
We'd show you, but then you wouldn't see us.
No. You might be a hipster if you own more than one Mac product.
You might be a hipster if you realized that his statement there was wrong.
Apple product.
Now he's right.
It sounds like you planned that.
You might be a hipster if you're a vegan or a vegetarian or claim to be a vegan or a vegetarian, even though you're really not.
Eat meat, you fucking retard. Sorry, I really
Sabrina
hate
does not
vegetarians.
like vegetarians
Like, I really hate
or
them.
vegans.
You might be a hipster if you have a man bag or satchel. You're even more of a hipster if you think that makes you like Indiana Jones. You might be a hipster if you know the fucking Indiana Jones theme song.
You might be a hipster if you consider the fourth Indiana Jones movie an actual part of the Indiana Jones movies.
You might be a hipster if you have a favorite movie music composer. Howard Shore's really good too.
Philip Glass.
You might be a hipster if you go to see the Harry Potter movies but have never read the books.
No, I think that makes you the majority of America.
No, I lied. You may be a hipster if you don't go to see the Harry Potter movies but have read the books.
Yes.
Or you could just value literature more than like over commercialized.
You might be
You
an
may
English
be a
major.
hipster, however,
English major.
if you have 80s pedophile glasses, as Sabrina here is modeling.
I wear these at water parks so the little kids can't see me checking them out.
And she's gonna get fired now.
My boss loves me. I put band-aids on little kids when I'm not drunk.
Which is never.
I'm
You
always
might be a
not drunk.
hipster if you collect book series that no one has ever heard of from the 1950s.
Or you could be an English nerd.
That too.
They coincide
Also, coincide.
though. Coincide's a good word.
You might be a hipster if you have imported sunscreen.
From the Ukraine! With translations to Kazakh and Russian on the back. Too cool for America.
You may be a Russian.
Nie по-русски, дебил американка!
You might be a Russian hipster if you live in America but want to be in Russia.
You might be a hipster if you think that facial hair is actually fashionable.
I want a beard so I can stroke it right now.
You are not. Did Tolsky have a beard? I bet he did.
You might be a Russian if you know who that is.
Or an English major.
Or an English major. Which,
You know,
Coincide.
Yeesh had a freaking awesome mustache while we're on the topic of facial hair.
You might be a hipster if you have ever gotten a tattoo of a mustache on your finger.
or on your finger, the word shh. Or if you have any tattoo that has no significant meaning to you, you might be a hipster.
Or drunk.
Which coincide. Only if you're drunk on cheap beer, though. PBR.
Here we are, drinking PBR.
You might be a hipster if Kesha makes you fall in love. Because she has her hot pants on and up.
I don't know what that means.
You might be gay if you know the lyrics to Kesha's songs.
They know now, Sam! They know now!
They just out her to YouTube.
She already added herself to YouTube. She said, I like girls. Or is that in the other one?
I think that was in the
I
other
think that
one
was in
where
the
we were
other
a little
one.
more exciting.
Oh,
That
well.
wasn't, this one.
That wasn't so serious.
This is serious.
We're
Because
serious.
you should not be a hipster! No one should ever be a hipster. And you know when you really are a hipster? When you deny to your death being a hipster. Because hipsters hate hipsters. Hipsters hate the word hipster.
She got really ghetto on you.
Because I'm from the hood and I'm poor and I'm squatting in their house. Shh, don't tell them.
She thinks she's
You need
poor.
the Z
She's a
snap.
hipster.
Because obviously, there's a lesbian up in Coriopolis. I'm clogging your
Scariopolis.
windows.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Even hide your husbands!
Because I'm raping everybody out here.
You might be a hipster if you refuse to use internet memes because
You may be a
They're
hipster
funny.
if you know what
They're too
memes is.
mainstream.
no, then you're an internet dork.
What
You
is
can
a
just
meme?
be a nerd.
That's like popular things like hide your kids, hide your wife, and like
Like
pedo bear
lolcats?
and lolcats. Those
Why
are all
don't-
memes
Why don't you just call them viral videos?
because they're
Because
not all
they're not
videos.
videos.
Oh.
They're pictures and stuff.
Memes. 'Cause
Anything
they're in
that
your
are-
memory.
I don't know why they're called memes. That's too geeky for me, but I know
You
that
may
that's
be
what
a
they
nerd
are.
if you sit around and watch 60s Batman.
Or like Batman a lot.
Batman.